In many African economies, tourism contributes significantly to the GDP growth. A prerequisite for a viable tourism industry, however, is peace and stability. After years of conflict, Somalia seeks to reclaim its glory as a tourism destination. Take a look.
In the 1960s and 70s, Somalia was known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, a haven for tourists seeking a mix of beach, culture and history. That was before decades of armed conflict and instability drove visitors away from Mogadishu, the capital, leaving a distant memory of a once thriving tourism destination. But now Somalia is ready to welcome the world, and there are hopes of the country's neglected tourism sector producing economic growth and employment in the coming years.
Now we have lots of people coming, daring to come to Somalia. This year alone, we hosted almost 40 non-Somalis, non-Somalis, international people, most of them European.
Though still modest, the number of tourists arriving from Europe, Asia and the United States has been on the rise in recent months.
We have been hosting a lot of people from the EU continent and the US and the Asia also. So this week, we hosted the first ever Singaporean citizen in our country, which gives us another pleasure.
An advisor to the federal government's Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism reels out some of the tourist attractions the country offers to foreign visitors.
The areas that the tourists still can go is the beaches. Somalia reach of the longest coastline in Africa facing the Indian Ocean. At the same time, we have where the river and the sea joins in Gobwin, Kismayo, near to Kismayo. And by Debo also we have waterfalls. We have in Bosaso hot spring. We have caves. We have the white sand. So all this, it's part of the tourism.
It could take decades for Somalia to become a viable tourism destination that can compete with the likes of Uganda, Tanzania and neighboring Kenya.
And globally.
But the federal government is moving forward with plans to promote the country and put it back on the map of international tourism.
Well, born in Baltimore and raised in Texas, Ursula Rick's music takes you on a journey through a life of funk, soul, and new blues. Backed by some of the best musicians in the Baltimore, D.C. area, Ursula Rick's project gives a musical experience that is nothing short of riveting.
My name is Ursula Ricks. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a soul, funk, blues singer. Been around for about 35 years. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was raised in Texas. So I've got two views of the racial issue. I have a mother, my grandmother, and my aunts were all activists when I was young. So I've always been under the impression that when there's something wrong in our government, you protest. You let people know that it is not something you're willing to vote for. Eclectic cultural group of people that come and check out the music that I do. I'm a social activist. I take my music, and what I do is I incorporate the stories of my life as a black person in America and set up a song to why I like this song, what it is about this song that moves me, and what I think will move them. We gotta change everything. Change your mind, change your heart, change your soul, change your soul, change everything. emotion music. If anybody ever says to you they don't like the blues, they're spiritually dead. And if you don't like the blues, then you're not in touch with your humanity. And the blues is political music on top of everything else. It's the music that helps groups of people strive forward to make a better community. We all procreate, we all grow, and things change, and generation to generation, we owe it to the next generation to give them the world that they want. And the world that they want is multicultural. I don't need your sympathy. I don't want your regret, baby. We did the best we could, honey.
Well, and that's our show for today. You can find all the continent's top news and world news online at voaafrica.com. Check it out. I'm Vincent McCoy in Washington, and Nwagado has our last word from Lagos.
Thanks a lot, Vincent. We look forward to bringing you another show next week. ChannelsTV.com is your source for news, sports, and other programming around the clock. I am Anne Nwawadu. Thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.